So our concept or proposition for the day is called PeeBetter. It basically deals with the culture of peeing, and more specifically making a female urinal. And you might ask yourselves, why would I, certainly a man, be interested in this field? It's a long story to it, but basically I'm working with the Muscular Festival, and pee is a big question at the festival. It's frankly really disgusting, and it's, in my book, highly humiliating, having an enormous amount of queue. Personally, I dislike queuing enormously. I find it humiliating and time-consuming, obviously. Especially for girls, this is really just a plain pain in the ass. But not only is it about queuing, it's about the whole experience of a place, being at a festival or an urban event or a party, you know, Distortion in Copenhagen, whatever you have in Malmö. This is always easy for the men. They can just go and pee somewhere, and the girls, they have to stay in line. And, you know, it's just a very obvious problem. So this kind of unites two themes. So one theme is kind of the more structural aspect of it that deals with the way, especially northerners, pee in public space, because we, and especially my species, more than men in other parts of the world, we just, you know, pee on the street, pee everywhere. So how do you address this problem? And my approach, and with my team here, good designers and girls here, good designers, is like looking at both the functional aspect of it. It has to be functional peeing available, but also the communicative aspect of it. So these two things we want to look at united. So this doesn't really fit, but the approach to this is looking at the customer experience of peeing in a public situation. And we've been looking into this, focusing now in this context on the functional aspect of peeing. And this, so we're looking at the three different kind of aspects of peeing, like, okay, how is it to actually pee for a girl in a urinal? Well, how does it work functionally? How do you find it? Orientation, where is it? Is it branded? Is it up in the air so you know where it is? And finally, this is, you cannot see because the screen is a feedback loop. If it doesn't work the way we hoped, how can we interact with the wider public and the girls who are using this to make it a better solution? So that's the feedback loop that you can't see on the screen there. So right now we are in a place where we've been talking with the Muscular Festival. They're interested in actually making some kind of prototype of this, but we need a place to actually build it, try it out, craft it. Probably have a lot of girls coming and peeing, actually. And we're seeing if this actually works, because the thing is, this touchpoint thing already from our first research shows, of course, it's really a lot of things that has to fit. It's a question between privacy and being easy, accessibility, being, balance, not falling into the piss pit, and things like that. And it's really about trial and error and getting a lot of people on board. So there's the functional aspect of trying these things out, building. There's some preliminary sketches, just working out how can we do it. But it's also a question of looking at this wider communication context, and then this kind of, the whole kind of signage and things. And it's about this kind of social feedback loop. So one of the things we'd also like to try in this context would be linking physical, like trying to build this thing good, is also creating some kind of online platform where girls can actually discuss. We need some statistics here. How many? It's also, I understand these things, like it's a matter of direction, it's a matter of splashing. It's very concrete, and it has to be solved like that. Also quite funny sometimes, but it basically it's just a matter of getting a lot of info. So it's also really about the design process itself. So it's what we would like to do here is basically these two things together. This is the Starbucks idea platform, a lot of feedback happening there. What we would like to do is these two things at the same time or simultaneously, doing some real research, doing some design sketches, doing some prototyping, actually building parts of this thing, and meanwhile trying to create some kind of social platform around this. And then the deadline will be the Muscular Festival for at least for a first prototype. But also maybe, since it's not only the Muscular Festival, but it could be all kinds of partners could be involved in this potentially. So we would like to, of course, collaborate with Malmö or whoever would be interested in this. So that's basically the idea. It's a female urinal we would like to make. Thank you. There you go. I'm here.
Hvad vil du bruge pengene til, hvis du får det?
We have a lot of Ja, jeg kan godt forstå det. Vi har en masse forskellige...
Or speak English.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, we have a lot of
Sorry,
different... so the question was how are we going to spend our money? I mean, there will be, hopefully, also some kind of financial, some development money from the festival, but it's not really that much. And what we really would like to do is make a prototype that doesn't only work at a festival. It has to be some kind of a movable object that can be used at any festival, at any urban event. So we don't have the funds needed to do the kind of research and the kind of testing we would like to. But I think one of the things, maybe depending on, since I don't know that much about this place yet, maybe it could be also for the social platform. It depends on how we go about it.
What is the social platform going to use? Are you going to just discuss your solutions, or?
I think we're still in the first phase of this, but I think my experience with social platforms are they have to be quite specific and quite precise in what you ask about. I mean, just making a forum for P in itself will not be like, it'll be too big. So I think it will be a matter of creating a community, also by talking to our network and involving people very who are in, around, and then be quite specific on we need to solve this question, but also I guess it depends on. I think the focus of this fight is very concrete. We have to make a good, well-functional, smart URL that works. But to do this, we need to get a lot of statistics and a lot of info and simply understanding what are the needs and what are the specific needs. We might even end up having 2 different URLs or, different heights, or it's really, it's a design process. But also I think, of course, the question is also putting on the agenda the more kind of political aspect of the fact that I just think it's really ridiculous that ladies have to queue so much. So it's also, I guess there's a political edge to it, or, I don't know.
I'm curious, who are you working with? Aren't there any kind of urinal developers, mobile toilet people out there?
Yeah, of course.
What sort of reference points?
We have already been talking to some of these people, and we are of course going to do that because we're thinking the same thing. There must be something out there that really works. And of course you have the classic blue, but it's just really hard to make fast. And so all the other real urinal kind of solutions, they seem to be linked to the space. So they're not movable. So what we're looking for is making the precise answer for what's called rocket in Danish. It's manned pissoir, where like 4 guys peeing like that. So it's kind of the same kind of type of thing, and we haven't seen that actually, frankly. But of course, the next step would be talking to real, people who makes these kinds of things. So there's a lot of research also there. We were talking to one of the companies that work for us for the festival. They have some people in Poland who actually produce, do plastic kind of building. But all these things we also have to get into.
What's your background?
My background, I work with, I have a company called UI. We do culture design, so we work in this field between, design, functionality, and then culture. What do people do? But this is kind of a more project because I've just been obsessed with the thought that this must be possible. Why is it not there? That's my question as well. So of course I've been looking around, and our team over here, we've been looking at it doesn't seem to be there. So and at least it doesn't seem to be there in the way we would like it to be there. It has to be nice or the right kind of good experience. So I have a company. I personally have a background in philosophy and modern culture. And then I often work with architects and designers. So my thing is the process design and making it happen, and then I'll design it with Lula here and Sarah and Marie, who's right there.
Do you have any idea why these haven't been used before?
I think it's mainly a Northern European phenomenon. It seems apparently. The way we party, or it seems to be. I mean, I've been looking into this, and I've been talking to people, and the public peeing, it being a problem that people pee on the streets, is far worse. I think actually maybe it's worse than Denmark, but it's bad in Northern Europe, whereas not as much it seems. And maybe it's a bit. I don't know. It's a bit. Maybe it's how to say it not cool, or I don't know. I'm wondering myself. It seems like I'm like, somebody must have done this before. And I'm like, I've been looking around for a long time, and I just haven't seen it. So we've been doing, I mean, a bit of research. I would say like.
Have you researched into like refugee camps and like I'm thinking there's probably even. I'm sort of thinking to go to Roskilde. I mean, I've been there once, and I'm just thinking there's actually more social. I think kind of an event where you have to deal with a lot of people in one time, like. You know, enormous tragedies in the world, like that. There, I mean, I think that would be an interesting focus.
Oh, for sure.
To like somehow see if you can tap into that, and which are kind of, it's sort of bizarre. It's a kind of the basic. It's a basic need that we all have to deal with, but it's a kind of on that scale. And in that context, I think it would be quite interesting if you could kind of develop something that actually affects.
I would love that perspective for sure. I think that would be great. But I would also say that in these contexts, then maybe the demands are a bit more basic. Like you need basically just a hole in the ground. I'm not saying that I would love it to be used there as well, but I think the specific urban context and the context of a urban event or a festival, it's kind of a unique context, and that's what I would be addressing first, because that's the need I see. But I mean, of course, the other perspective, like sanitation in the world, I mean, it's a fantastic problem, but also, you know, scale and time and how much can we, you know, but I agree with that vision.
Okay, we have time for one last question.
You touched upon it a bit, but how do you see the connection to Stadium and Fabriken here?
I really like the whole vibe of like Medea and this kind of, I mean, linking a social aspect with actually building something and making. I think I've been doing a lot of talking in my time and a lot of reading, and I really like to make something that's, you know, physically useful for somebody. And I just really like the idea of having a place that is not only building, but also thinking about what it means. And I hope that there'll be a network of people I can collaborate with. I was just thinking about this, where was the guy with the QR codes? Like, he's otherwise engaged, right? Like, feedback loop you could make at a festival, or here, could that be with QR codes? I mean, this whole collaboration thing, of course, is also important to us.
That's exactly what we want.